Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today, we're going to master two tools that you will literally find in almost every single tech job description on the planet, Git and GitHub. Whether you're aiming to be a software engineer, a data scientist, or a cloud developer, these are absolutely the foundational tools that separate the pros from the amateurs. I'm so incredibly excited to guide you through this because honestly, once you understand how these systems work, your entire coding life is just going to get a whole lot easier.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to start with a highly relatable question. How exactly do developers manage thousands of files without losing their work? Or even better, how do teams of hundreds of developers work on the exact same project at the exact same time without creating complete and utter chaos? Software development is this incredibly complex dance. You've got these massive code bases with millions of lines of code, and tweaking just one line can break something entirely unrelated. So keeping track of all of this without crashing the whole system is really the fundamental problem of working on complex projects. I'm sure almost all of us have experienced a folder that looks exactly like this, right? You start a project, you confidently name it websitefinal.html, but then you make a change, so you save it as websitefinal.html. Then version 2, then latest, then somehow latest real final. Managing versions manually like this is an absolute nightmare, even if it's just you working on it. It completely clutters your computer and you quickly forget what specific changes you actually made in version 2 versus the latest version. Now, just imagine a team of 20 developers trying to do this exact same thing. They're all overwriting each other's work, sending these massive zip files back and forth over email, trying to manually stitch together lines of code. It's a disaster just waiting to happen. The sheer amount of time lost to manual file tracking is exactly why the software industry had to find a better way. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1, the version control problem, 2, meet Git, 3, Git versus GitHub, 4, the workflow, 5, a command cheat sheet, and 6, a 4-week roadmap. Let's kick things off with section 1, the version control problem, bringing order to chaos. So how do we actually fix this nightmare scenario of overwritten files and chaotic collaboration? Well, back in 2005, a man named Linus Torvalds created what's known as a version control system. A version control system is basically just a piece of software that helps developers track changes in their files over time. But here's the kicker. It doesn't just save a clunky new file every single time. Instead, it meticulously logs the exact lines of code that were added or deleted. It records the precise timestamp of the change, and it logs the specific author who made it. This is literally the fundamental technology behind modern software development. Because you have a precise historical ledger of every single modification, nobody is ever left guessing about what happened to the code. It keeps a perfect record of exactly who changed what and exactly when they changed it.
Moving right along to section 2, meet Git, your code's time machine.
Git is the specific version control system that Torvalds actually built, and it has absolutely exploded to become the industry standard solution used by almost every single software company on the planet today. If you're kind of struggling to wrap your head around how it works, just think of Git like the save game feature in a video game, or a literal time machine for your code. Think about when you're playing a really tough video game. You always save your progress right before a massive boss fight, right? That way, if you fail, you can just reload your game and try again from that exact save spot. Git works the exact same way. Every single time you save your progress, Git creates a permanent checkpoint. So if you try coding a brand new feature and your entire website unexpectedly breaks later on, you don't have to panic. You don't have to spend hours mashing the undo button or trying to remember what you changed. You just use your time machine to return directly to your previous checkpoint. It's amazing because it lets you work safely and fearlessly. Next up is section 3, Git versus GitHub, clearing the confusion. Okay, this is without a doubt the biggest learning hurdle for beginners. So many people mistakenly think Git and GitHub are the exact same thing, but actually they are completely different tools that just happen to work incredibly well together. Git is the version control tool that lives completely locally on your computer. It's the underlying engine running silently on your laptop, tracking all of those historical checkpoints we just talked about. GitHub, on the other hand, is a cloud platform. You can really just think of GitHub as Google Drive for your code. Git works locally on your machine, quietly tracking changes, while GitHub is the website where you store those tracked projects online so the rest of the world can see them. So one is the local software, the other is the cloud hosting service. And you might be wondering, why should you even care about this cloud platform? Well, because GitHub allows you to store your code online, share your projects, and collaborate safely with teams across the globe. When you apply for tech jobs, recruiters will actually look for your GitHub profile link because it's the ultimate proof of your practical skills. It really acts as your living, breathing portfolio. But here's the thing, they aren't just looking to see if you have some random code uploaded. They look at your commit history to see if you organize your code cleanly, if you write clear messages explaining your updates, and if you understand how to collaborate. A well-maintained GitHub profile basically shouts to an employer that you are ready to drop right into a professional engineering environment. All right, section 4, the basic Git workflows step by step. Let's shift from theory into practice for a second. I'm going to walk you through exactly how these two distinct tools, local Git and cloud GitHub, actually combine in a real-world developer workflow. Step 1, you just create a regular project folder on your computer. Step 2, you initialize Git inside that folder. Initializing basically just creates a hidden folder inside your project that acts as Git's brain, telling it to wake up and start watching for changes. Step 3, you add your files to Git's tracking system. This step is kind of like a staging area. It gives you a chance to double-check exactly which files you want to include before making anything permanent. Now, step 4 is absolutely vital. You commit your changes. A commit takes everything from your staging area and creates that permanent snapshot, that save game checkpoint. Step 5, you connect your local folder to an empty repository on GitHub. And finally, step 6, you push your local code up into the cloud online, making it safely backed up and visible to the world. On to section 5, essential Git commands, your daily toolkit. Now, you might be asking how you actually pull off that 6-step workflow. You do it using specific commands inside your computer's terminal. You type git init to initialize the repository and create that hidden tracking folder. You type git add dot to add files to the staging area. That period or dot after add is actually a really crucial shortcut. It tells Git to add absolutely everything in your current directory. Once it's staged, you use git commit-m followed by a message. The -m stands for message, and it basically forces you to write a brief note, like added login button, so you actually remember what you saved in that permanent snapshot. Then you use git push to send your code up to GitHub. Finally, you use git pull to bring any new changes from GitHub back down to your computer. Like if a teammate updates the code online, git pull ensures your local laptop has the newest version. Honestly, these 5 commands make up 90% of what you'll be doing on a daily basis. And our final piece, section 6, your 4-week roadmap, getting started today. Let's see how all of this builds into an actionable plan, because whether you're learning HTML, Python, or data science, you need a structured plan to master this toolkit. So here is your timeline. Seriously, do not try to learn it all in one weekend. In week 1, focus purely on local Git basics, just initializing, adding, and committing on your own laptop until it literally becomes muscle memory. In week 2, introduce GitHub. Practice creating repositories and pushing your local projects online. Then in week 3, learn branching. Branching lets you create an alternate timeline of your code. It's awesome because you can safely test wild new ideas on a separate branch without ever breaking your main functioning code. Finally, in week 4, tackle collaboration. This means learning how to handle pull requests, which is essentially asking a project maintainer for permission to merge your new branch back into the main project. By week 4, you'll be completely ready to contribute to real open source software. We're leaving off today with an absolute, undeniable truth. Git and GitHub are not optional skills anymore. They are essential tools for every single developer out there. Mastering this workflow is going to save you countless headaches and make your entire coding journey immensely smoother. So my final question for you is this. If your dream job requires proof that you can collaborate on a massive scale, what project are you going to commit to your new GitHub portfolio today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go start that local repository, and I'll see you next time.